Hey everyone, and welcome back to Token Talk. Now today I want to do a quick update on Jasmy, just because we haven't seen too much news coming out from Jasmy, and so a lot of what I want to focus on is kind of how the chart is reacting, and maybe a little bit more context and information around that. So anyway, let's go and talk some tokens. So starting out, I wanted to just take a quick look at crypto bubbles, just kind of get a general sense of the state of the market. What we can see, things are kind of looking pretty mixed overall. There's not kind of really a whole lot going on as far as like a given like direction in the market. There's just been a lot of ranging going on. You know, if we look at Bitcoin, that's kind of been the same, Ethereum same, Solana same. A lot of what's been going on lately is the market's, I think, kind of just been playing wait and see until the election. The only kind of subsection within crypto that's actually done consistently fairly well over the past couple weeks are meme coins, and I think that's mainly because meme coins are kind of their own little bubble, and so that's something that kind of moves, I think, irrespective of the wider macro market. I think meme coins can be seen realistically kind of more like a gambling or lottery type of system, and so it doesn't really matter a whole lot about like global liquidity or all this, that, and whatever else type of stuff. It's more about just kind of playing the trends, and whenever there's some like, you know, pop culture, you know, super viral thing that comes out, that's kind of what drives memes. Also, just a general, like, I think boredom within the market frankly helps a lot as well, just because it's taking eyes off of kind of the wider crypto market. As we can see, ranging stuff like this, it's boring. It's not really super fun. I think a lot of the ways that people are kind of addressing this boredom is through meme coins. But anyway, that's not the topic of today's discussion. I just kind of want to point that out, just kind of based on the bigger winners. What we want to talk about today is Jasmy. And so Jasmy, there's two things I want to know. First one, we haven't really seen much from the Jasmy team at all over the past like 6 weeks or so. I'm hopeful that this means that they're kind of building and doing stuff. Where they're at in their development process, I don't know that it's like super important that they're like actively communicative, just because they don't really have any like functioning product that's out yet. But once they do, you know, I would imagine we'd start to see like a more concentrated like marketing push and a lot of this type of stuff. You know, that hasn't happened yet, which is fine. So a lot of what we have to talk about is just kind of price action, looking at the chart and trying to kind of pull some threads on, based on what we're seeing on the chart, how things kind of look more generally. And so what we can see here is there's a couple of things that have happened over the past, like, I guess you could like wrap it up to months, but we had this like descending wedge. We broke out of the descending wedge, we retested, and then, you know, made a decent run up. And then it kind of, at this point, this is when the wider like crypto market started to kind of turn back a little bit. And what we can see is we've basically given up all of those gains that we had from this breakout of the wedge, and we've come down kind of to this base level of support. Now, if we look, I guess I haven't really made a line here, but if we look, we can see a couple of different things. So this level is kind of, at least to me, what looks to be a pretty strong level of support. And honestly, as I've mentioned before on the channel, I don't love like single point types of places where we can find support. This kind of wider zone to me looks more of like a pretty strong like liquidity zone. We can see on the bottom side, you know, we've used this as a resistance a couple times. From the upside, I mean, we've seen wicks into this zone, into various points of this zone several times ever since like February, maybe even like mid-March. So this is something that, you know, this to me looks like a very, very strong liquidity zone, kind of between like the 1.6 cents and like 1.77 cents ish. This whole area kind of looks like a pretty strong liquidity zone overall. And so I guess maybe we could even like move it up, but like essentially like 1.6 to 1.8 is kind of like the big liquidity zone area. And what we can see, we have kind of fallen back down kind of right on at the top end of this zone. We may see a bounce. I mean, we may even see kind of further dips down onto kind of like maybe onto this line, maybe even wicks into this like liquidity zone. But overall, like this to me is a pretty strong level of support. If we drop below this level, I think things get a little bit scary, frankly, just because, I mean, we basically saw Jasmy like teleport from what was this, like 0.6 cents to like 1.6 cents. So I mean, obviously this like doubled almost overnight, you could say. And so if we were to break through this zone, I mean, maybe you see a little bit of support here at like 1.2 cents, but after that, I mean, realistically, it almost looks like a free fall down to about 0.7 cents roughly, which of course would not be a fun day. Also, I think that would call into question some of the like wider like health and structure of the entire Jasmy market, because obviously, like, you know, we've held this support really well. We've put in, I would say, a pretty decent chunk of volume at and above this area, and so this to me is like, if we fall below this area, something's wrong, right? And this is what we would call into question, you know, maybe kind of a, what is the state of the project? Is the team kind of managing things correctly? You know, stuff like that. So where we're at right now, again, not a whole bunch of concern, but if we do start to kind of like, you know, wick towards the bottom, or maybe even, you know, sustainably below kind of the 1.4 cent range, and I would say like having a candle close below here, if we see wicks like this on the daily, it's not a huge deal, just because we have seen it a couple of times before. Obviously, these were kind of like points, well, at least this one was a point of panic. This one, obviously, you know, was a massive wick, and then, you know, it came right back up. And so that's not anything too bad. But yeah, if we started to see candles close below this, I would actually be a little bit bearish on kind of at least the short to midterm outlook. You know, it's hard to say for sure, but that's kind of what we're looking at. We do need to see, you know, a little bit of more volume as well as momentum kind of coming into the Jasmy coin to see a pump to the upside, at least kind of maintaining, you know, in this range. Again, you know, if we want to range here for the next 6 months, whatever, if we start to close below that, I do think that's when things get a little bit concerning. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of bring this to your attention today. Overall, not a whole lot going on the chart. Things are looking pretty sustainable, or at least pretty like normal overall, I guess you could say. And then also from like a news perspective, we haven't really seen much going on with Jasmy either. A lot of it is just kind of seeing, you know, what's going on within the chart. So overall, nothing to be like super concerned of, at least at this point yet. If you did find this useful, please do give us a like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Also, I do try to read and respond to all the comments. So if you have any things that you want to ask me or anything like that, please feel free just to drop it in the comment section below. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.